One might think that the Middle Ages were simple times, but the complexity of medieval jobs is quite astounding. However, a video where I just keep listing one occupation after the other isn't very interesting, is it? No, so I decided to focus on the worst ones. That's a lot more fun. That can't stand on its own as a valuable piece of content though, so I have also created an inspirational PDF which lists 133 jobs in the Middle Ages, all of which you can use for inspiration in your own fantasy setting. I'll give you the download link a bit later on in this video. So for now, let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Jesper and welcome to the Fame of Fantasy. This channel is all about giving you inspiration to master your craft and create fantasy that will truly immerse your audience. Well, I was supposed to follow up on the question of the week, but there was no responses at all. At least not at the time of recording this video, so what can I say? We'll see if we get more engagement next week then. It's hard to determine which jobs would actually be the worst ones, and I guess it kind of depends on how you look at it, but I've collected 3 that I find pretty damn nasty. So let's begin our list with the fueler. I think that's how you pronounce it at least, but you can see the spelling right here on the screen if that helps you. These guys are also referred to as the walker. You will learn in a minute why, but I can tell you that it isn't very pleasant at all. So, when you buy wool sweaters today, you probably don't care too much about how they were actually made. But in the Middle Ages, the job of a fueler was to make wool clothing nice and soft. You know, smooth against the skin and that sort of thing. The fueler or walker came in after the garment had been made by spinning and weaving it, and it was now time to clean it and thicken it. You see, this is where it gets unpleasant. In order to bleach and clean the cloth, you needed ammonium. How common do you think ammonium was in the medieval times? Well, there was no store you could go and get it from, so your best source would be... Get out your gas masks. Yes, you guessed it, urine. This is why these guys were also referred to as walkers, because that's what they had to do. Stamp on the cloth in a puddle of urine up to their knees for hours at a time, and to top it off, they often added chemicals like lime to the mix as well. Alright, how about this one? You might think that the job as a squire for a knight sounds much better than the fueler. You know, like Podrick in the Game of Thrones. That doesn't look too bad, does it? Well, in reality, the squire's job was never ending. The knight counted on the squire to carry his armor to battle, set up his camping, and waiting on him like a servant. That doesn't sound as bad as the walker that we just talked about, right? Well, let me twist it a bit then. As a squire, you would also have to run out onto the battlefield, unarmed, mind you, to supply the knight with fresh weapons and horses. This job could quite easily get you killed. If you were lucky enough to survive, it wasn't time to rest afterwards. No. You would have to clean the armor after the battle. Cleaning mud and blood wasn't the worst part. No. The knights had no time to take off their armor to go for like a toilet break in the middle of battle. Instead, they would just do their business straight into the armor. And in order to clean this mess, you would scrape off the biggest lumps by hand, and then the rest you would remove with a mixture of sand, vinegar, and just a hint of urine. Are you feeling sick yet? Or can you stomach one more? Alright, let's look at the Leech Collector then. Surely that can't be bad. Or can it? It's associated to curing people after all. You know, it's an honorful job. You've probably heard before how doctors in the Middle Ages believed that many diseases were caused by having too much blood in the body. So a very common cure was to make patients bleed with leeches. So leeches look like worms, but they live in ponds, they have sharp teeth, and they like to suck blood. How do you think that doctors got so many leeches? Congratulations, you just got a job as a leech collector. Now your job is pretty simple. All you gotta do is wade around cold, dirty ponds and marshes until your legs are covered by these little worm-like creatures. Then you pull them off, stick them in a bucket, and sell them to the nearest doctor. Easy, right? You know there's a kicker, don't you? Okay, here it comes. What if I tell you that when the leeches sink their teeth into your body, it will drink 5 times its own body weight of your blood? Now, you will probably be lightheaded from blood loss by then, and I'm not sure about that one. I just made that up, but what is certain is that the leech's bites don't stop bleeding for several hours, so you can lose pints of blood and feel sick for days afterwards. Next time you show up for work, you are probably wading into the swamp with open wounds all over your legs. I can only imagine that you could quite easily get an infection from this. So how does that sound for a job? I know that it's all pretty nasty and disgusting, but if you found this video entertaining or funny, well, whatever it made you feel, hit the like button below if you think it deserves it. Even better, share it with a friend. Let's move away from these disgusting occupations and talk about the free PDF with a list of 133 jobs that you can use for inspiration in your own fantasy setting instead. But before going there, let's ask the question of the week. Here goes. So from these 3 very unattractive jobs, which one would you choose if you had no other choice, and why? Let me know in the comment section below. So regarding the free PDF here, I have placed a link here on the screen from where you can download it for free, and you can also find the same link in the description field below. So make sure to download it. It's a very handy list to have at hand. In medieval times, each occupation filled a crucial place in the social system, so no lord could survive without the support of the peasants. You can view medieval society as a giant jigsaw puzzle, I guess, where one part could not work without the other. So the free PDF is a list of many different types of occupations, and I hope you will find it useful and inspiring. Enjoy it anyway. In writing, I have now sent my Twitter for Authors book out to the launch team, so you can imagine that I'm pretty excited about getting their feedback. In terms of book 3 of the Keystone Bone trilogy, I'm fast approaching the halfway mark of the first draft. You know, I've told you before, because I'm using my new approach with dictation, It's going really fast, and I'm very excited about reaching the editing stage. And with this much progress, it should be less than a month out from now. I also want to mention that you can support the Fane of Fantasy by heading over to Patreon. For as little as the price of a used t-shirt, you can get into the reward program. Check it out. Another bonus is that I will be able to keep this channel free of any advertising and ads. If this is your first time here, do make sure to subscribe for new videos every single week. Stay safe out there and see you next Monday.